Welcome to Transforming Your Life Through Storytelling. They say that the universe has a way of bringing things full circle, that the good we do doesn't just disappear, it finds its way back to us, sometimes in ways that we never expect. This is the story of a man who, through an act of kindness, decades earlier, unknowingly saved his own life. This story was originally published by Reader's Digest on November 28, 2016, and is a beautiful testament of the unseen forces that connect us all. Enjoy the story. It was a peaceful morning in March of 2011. Dr. Michael Shannon, a pediatrician, was driving along the California Pacific Coast Highway towards the beach to meet a friend for their usual Tuesday walk. The ocean air was crisp and the drive felt so familiar. After all, it was his weekly route. But in a blink of an eye, everything changed. A truck appeared out of nowhere onto the road in front of him. Dr. Shannon had no time to react. The collision was devastating. He remembered the wham and the breaking of glass, and after that, everything seemed to stop. The front of Dr. Shannon's SUV was crumpled beneath the truck and flames began to form in the hood. But Dr. Shannon couldn't move. His legs and feet were pinned, wedged underneath the crumpled dashboard. At that moment, a unit from Orange County Fire Department got the call. Thank God they were only a few minutes away. Among them was a paramedic named Chris Truckee, who could see the urgency. The flames in the car were now small, but knew that within seconds it could explode. Dr. Shannon could feel the nylon mesh of his running shoes melt under his toes. Chris began to put the fire out inside the car while the firemen called for backup. They needed stronger tools to pry open the SUV. After 20 agonizing minutes, they freed him and was transported to a trauma unit at a hospital in Laguna Beach. Chris sat with him in the back of the ambulance, the sirens blaring, and it was in that moment that he meditated over the victim's name, Michael Shannon. That name seemed so familiar to Chris. After all, he had grown up hearing his parents tell him the story over the course of his life of one of the happiest resolution to one of the most devastating periods of their lives. Could it be the same Dr. Shannon who had saved his life years ago? Chris wondered. You see, 30 years earlier, in June of 1986, Chris entered the world 10 weeks prematurely and soon developed a terrible infection. His parents were petrified. His chances for survival were 50-50, weighing only 3 pounds and 2 ounces at birth. The baby was so tiny it could fit in the palm of the pediatrician. Dr. Shannon took him in, never left his side. For nights on end, he slept at the hospital, watching over the fragile newborn, making sure it could survive. Because of Dr. Shannon's care, patience, and love, Chris made it. He grew up to be strong and healthy. As Chris sat with the injured Dr. Shannon, the feeling of familiarity or recognition grew even stronger. Fate would have it that life had returned full circle, and now it was that baby whose life he had saved years ago who was now holding Dr. Shannon's life in his hands. Do you remember me at all? Chris finally asked. You stayed with me and you saved me when I was really young. Dr. Shannon immediately recognized Chris' name. Yet, if they had seen each other on the street, either would have recognized the other. Dr. Shannon survived. Yes, he had suffered some burns, broken bones, and a perforated intestine, but he was alive, and Chris stayed with him every day that he was at the hospital. But in that moment, in that impossible twist of fate, they were both changed forever. They marveled in awe at the chances of both being at the right place when they needed it most. Years later, Chris became a father. And when it came time to choose a pediatrician, Dr. Shannon was the obvious choice. Life had come full circle again. Now, you may say coincidence. Maybe yes, maybe no. Some may call it fate. But could it be that in the cosmos, every act of kindness we do returns back to us? This resonates with what I believe. Yes, I believe that what goes around comes around. Sometimes immediately or in 30 years from now, like in the story. But what we send out into the world doesn't disappear. It ripples, it returns, it changes lives. Chris and Dr. Shannon still meet every year on that day of the accident as a reminder that the universe is always weaving the fiber of our lives in ways that we cannot see or explain. So remember this, every good deed matters. Every act of love ripples through the universe. And when you least expect it, it comes back to you. Share this message with someone who may need to hear it. Click on the subscribe button and I will see you on the next episode.